Could the Los Angeles Lakers really land a $121 million All-Star in a shocking LeBron James trade? Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. This might sound wild, but one bold trade proposal is starting to gain traction, and if it ever happened, it could change everything. Let's start with what we know. The Lakers are entering a transition phase. While LeBron James is still playing at an elite level, the front office appears to be quietly preparing for the future. Rumors have been swirling about their interest in building around a new franchise player, potentially someone like Luka Doncic. That could mean that the LeBron era in Los Angeles is closer to ending than anyone expected. Now, before we jump into the trade details, let's make one thing very clear. The Lakers do not want to trade LeBron. They want him to stay. They respect everything he's done for the franchise. They believe that as long as he's healthy, he gives them a real shot at contending for a championship. But here's the catch. LeBron holds a no-trade clause. That means any trade would have to be approved by him. If LeBron doesn't want to leave LA, he's not going anywhere. Period. Still, if he ever decides that it's time for a fresh start, maybe to chase another ring, or play alongside a different supporting cast, there would be a long line of teams ready to make offers. And one of the most shocking proposals, it involves a blockbuster deal with the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. You heard that right. LeBron James, teaming up with Stephen Curry. According to a recent report from Bleacher Report, here's how the trade would look. The Golden State Warriors would receive LeBron James and Bronny James. The Los Angeles Lakers would receive Jimmy Butler and a 2028 first-round pick swap. Let that sink in. LeBron, joining forces with Steph, Klay, and Draymond, possibly forming one of the most experienced and dangerous lineups in NBA history. And after winning Olympic gold together in Paris just last summer, there's already a strong bond between LeBron and Curry. From the Warriors' perspective, this deal makes a lot of sense. They know their championship window is closing. Steph is 36. Draymond and Klay are aging. If they want one last serious run at a title, adding LeBron could be their best shot. But what about the Lakers? On the surface, bringing in Jimmy Butler is a big deal. He's one of the toughest competitors in the league. A proven leader. A playoff monster. He's dragged teams deep into the postseason with sheer willpower. And pairing him with someone like Luka Doncic, if that's truly the Lakers' long-term vision, could be a strong foundation. But here's where it gets tricky. The Lakers would only be getting Butler and a pick swap. No future draft picks. No young stars. Just Jimmy, and a swap of first-round picks that might not even be in their favor, depending on how the Warriors perform in 2028. So, is that really enough for the greatest player of this generation? That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, it feels unlikely that the Lakers would pull the trigger on that kind of deal, unless LeBron specifically said, "I want to go to Golden State." Even then, Rob Pelinka and the front office would almost certainly explore other offers before agreeing to anything. Because let's be real, if LeBron ever hits the trade market, teams will line up with insane packages. Think multiple first-rounders. Blue-chip prospects. Maybe even all-star caliber players. Which is why a trade like this, as fascinating as it sounds, is probably just a fantasy. For now. Let's not forget, LeBron James has never been traded in his entire career. Not in Cleveland. Not in Miami. Not in Los Angeles. He's always controlled his own path, choosing where to go and when. And seeing him moved now, at age 40, would be stunning. Especially because, believe it or not, this current Lakers team may still be the right environment for him to make one final championship push, even without the star power of previous rosters. Last season, LeBron proved he's still got it. He averaged 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. He shot over 51% from the field and 37.6% from three-point range. That's not just good for his age, that's all NBA production. So unless LeBron demands a trade, it's likely he stays in purple and gold. But still, the idea of LeBron and Steph teaming up? It's hard not to dream. Could we be witnessing the calm before the storm? Or will LeBron ride out his final years in LA, chasing one last title on his own terms? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. If LeBron ever hits the trade market, the entire NBA will shake. And this rumored Warriors deal? It might just be the beginning. Could Giannis Antetokounmpo really end up in Los Angeles? It might sound like a fantasy, but according to one top Lakers insider, it's not as far-fetched as you'd think. And between Giannis and Nikola Jokic, he believes Giannis is the more realistic target for the purple and gold. Let's break it down. The Lakers are entering a new era. One that's no longer centered around LeBron James, but around Luka Doncic, the new face of the franchise. And with LeBron expected to move on in the next year or two, whether through retirement or another path, that shift is coming fast. And when he does step away, that's going to leave the Lakers with two things: a massive amount of cap space, and a superstar spot waiting to be filled. Now, Los Angeles doesn't want just anyone to pair with Luka Doncic. They want someone elite. Someone dominant. Someone who can bring championship banners back to Crypto.com arena. But here's the challenge. Those types of players are harder than ever to acquire. Most of today's superstars are either on long-term deals or locked into situations where they've built loyalty, culture, and control. But there are two players, two international MVPs, who might eventually become available: Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic. And according to Lakers insider Jovan Buha, if the Lakers are going to go all in, Giannis is the guy to watch. In a recent video, Buha said, "Between Giannis and Jokic, I think Giannis is more likely to be a Laker, if only because I think he's more likely to leave his current situation than Jokic is." Let's be honest, that tracks. Milwaukee has done everything they can to keep Giannis happy. This past summer, they made some bold, even desperate moves to show their commitment. But if it doesn't lead to postseason success? If the Bucks fall short again? That pressure could boil over. Buha explains. They might keep Giannis happy through the trade deadline or maybe through next season. But when the playoffs come, if they lose in the first round again, he'll have to take a hard look at his future. And what about Jokic? Buha believes Denver is in a much more stable position. They've kept their core intact. They've had a strong offseason. And most importantly, they're still competing at the top of the West. I think Denver is the second best team in the West. I expect them to make at least the second round, maybe even the conference finals or the finals. And because of that, Jokic has no reason to leave. So where does that leave the Lakers? Well, they're waiting. They're watching. And they're preparing. Because if the opportunity comes, and Giannis Antetokounmpo becomes available, you can bet the Lakers will be first in line. Just imagine it for a moment. Giannis and Luka Doncic, two of the top 4 players in the league, on the same team, in Los Angeles. That's not just a championship duo, that's historic. Think back to Kobe and Shaq, LeBron and Wade, Steph and KD. Pairings that didn't just win games, they defined eras. Buha put it perfectly. You rarely get two players of that caliber at the same time. But if LA is able to land Jokic or Giannis with Luka, they can claim that kind of greatness. And let's not forget the global factor. Giannis, Jokic, Doncic, 3 of the biggest international stars the NBA has ever seen. Their impact goes beyond basketball. Their names carry weight across the world. And interestingly enough, they're all friends off the court. That chemistry, that connection, it could absolutely play a role if one of them decides it's time for a change, and if they want to join forces in Los Angeles. Of course, none of this is guaranteed. Giannis is still under contract. Jokic is happy in Denver. And while the Lakers are watching, waiting, and dreaming, nothing is official. But then again, nobody thought Luka Doncic would end up in a Lakers uniform, either. And yet, here we are. So the question becomes, can Rob Pelinka do it again? Can he pull off one more masterstroke, one more superstar move, to give the Lakers another dynasty? It won't be easy. But if there's one thing this franchise has taught us over the years, it's to never count them out. They did it with Kareem. They did it with Shaq. They did it with LeBron. And they pulled off the unthinkable with Luka. Could Giannis be next? Could Jokic surprise everyone? Or is there another star quietly watching from a distance, just waiting for his chance to shine under the bright lights of Hollywood? We don't know the answer yet. But what we do know is that the Lakers are never done. They're always thinking big, always reaching for greatness, and always just one move away from changing the league all over again. Stay tuned. The Los Angeles Lakers have just pulled off a move that could reshape their entire defensive identity. In a surprising and strategic acquisition, the Lakers are bringing in veteran guard Marcus Smart on a 2-year, $11 million deal, following his buyout from the Washington Wizards. According to ESPN insider Shams Charania, Smart will officially join the team once he clears waivers. This isn't just a depth signing. This is a calculated, high-impact move. Smart is not your average role player. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year, a 3-time All-Defensive Team selection, and one of the most respected and feared defenders in the NBA. He brings grit, vocal leadership, and a championship mindset, all qualities that align perfectly with what the Lakers need heading into this next chapter. Now in his 12th NBA season, Smart is only 31 years old, still in the heart of his prime. He was drafted by the Boston Celtics back in 2014 and spent 9 seasons as the emotional and defensive engine of that franchise. He's battled through playoff wars, led locker rooms, and earned the respect of teammates and opponents alike. And now, after a short and uneventful stint in Washington following a trade, he's landing in Los Angeles, a city that lives for big moments and big personalities. Defensively, Smart is elite. He thrives at the point of attack, pressuring ball handlers full court, disrupting passing lanes, and forcing mistakes with his timing and anticipation. His defensive instincts are off the charts. He doesn't just defend, he dictates tempo, frustrates scorers, and sets the tone for an entire team. He's also known for avoiding unnecessary switches, which is huge for a Lakers team that struggled with mismatches last season. By keeping matchups consistent, he protects teammates like Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, allowing them to stay in rhythm offensively without being targeted on defense. And speaking of offense, Smart brings more than people realize. Sure, he's not known for lighting up the scoreboard, but he's averaged 10.6 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 4.6 assists per game over his career. He's a steady playmaker, a decent shooter at 32.4% from deep, and a clutch performer when the game is on the line. He's not afraid of the moment, and he often delivers in the biggest ones. What makes this fit even more exciting is how seamlessly Smart complements Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. Luka will continue to carry the offensive load and run the show, while Reeves adds shot creation and spacing. With Smart now in the mix, the Lakers have someone who can lock up the opposing team's best guard, communicate on the floor, and energize the group with his relentless effort. It's a defensive trio that makes sense. Doncic for offense and vision, Reeves for hustle and shooting, and Smart for grit and stops. But of course, there's one big question mark: his health. Over the last 3 seasons, Smart hasn't played more than 61 games in any single campaign. He's dealt with nagging injuries that have limited his availability and consistency. For this signing to truly pay off, the Lakers will need to manage his minutes, keep him fresh, and have a strong medical plan in place. Because when Smart is healthy, he's a game changer. A tone setter. A player who elevates everyone around him. This move also sends a clear message to the rest of the league: the Lakers are serious. With LeBron James now out of the picture at age 40, the torch has been passed. This is the beginning of the Luka Doncic era in Los Angeles. And rather than rebuild slowly, the front office is moving aggressively to surround Luka with battle-tested veterans who can contribute immediately. Players who understand the stakes and are ready to compete. Smart isn't a superstar, but he's the kind of player who helps teams win playoff games. He makes the right rotations. He draws charges. He hits big shots. He shouts on defense. He holds teammates accountable. That's exactly the kind of presence a team needs if it wants to make a deep run. And let's not forget the emotional lift this could give the locker room. Smart has always been a vocal leader, someone who brings toughness, passion, and edge. His presence alone could reignite the defensive culture the Lakers prided themselves on just a few seasons ago. There's something poetic about Smart, a former Celtic, now wearing purple and gold. And you can bet he'll bring every ounce of that fire to this rivalry, only now, he's on the other side. So here we are. The Lakers are reloading, rebuilding their identity, reinventing their core. And Marcus Smart might just be the piece that helps them make that leap from fringe playoff team to legitimate contender, if he stays healthy, if he locks in, and if he does what he's done his entire career, compete at the highest level with everything he's got. Watch out, NBA. Marcus Smart is coming to LA. And he's got something to prove.